Last week I was shopping at a toy fair. I noticed a long queue at a counter. They were waiting for the shelves to be restocked with Mattel dolls. As I looked, I realized that in the queue was an old friend of mine. Knowing Len quite well, I was sure that he had no daughters, nor did he have any nieces, so I wondered why he should want to buy a doll at Christmas time. "Hey, Len," I cried. "I hadn't realized you collected dolls." "I don't," he replied. "Really?" I said. "Then you must be buying a Christmas present?" "No, not at all, my friend," responded Len. "If you don't mind my asking then," I said, "why exactly are you standing here?" "Oh, that," he said. "I've just never been able to resist a barbecue." On another flight over the Atlantic, the pilot spoke to the passengers, going through the usual things before settling back in his seat, but unfortunately forgetting to switch the intercom off. The passengers could hear everything that was being said on the flight deck. "So, what do you intend to do with yourself once we get to JFK?" the co-pilot asked the pilot. "Well, first of all, I'm going to have a long soak in the bath, then I'll go to Bernie's restaurant for a big steak, and then I'm going to give that pretty new stewardess a good seeing to." The stewardess in question heard this and was horrified and ran down the aisle to the flight deck, but she was stopped by a little old lady sitting in the front row. "Don't hurry, dear. He's got to have a bath and dinner first." Shortly after a British Airways flight had reached its cruising altitude, the captain announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. Welcome to Flight 293, non-stop from London Heathrow to New York. The weather ahead is good, so we should have an uneventful flight. So, sit back and..." "Oh, my God!" Silence followed. Complete silence. Some moments later, the captain came back on the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry if I scared you. While I was talking to you, a flight attendant accidentally spilled coffee in my lap. You should see the front of my pants." From the back of the plane, an Irish passenger yelled, "For the Luva Jesus, you should see the back of mine!" A teenager was planning to take his girlfriend to the prom. First, he went to rent a tux, but there was a long tux line at the shop and it took forever. Next, he had to get some flowers, so he headed over to the florist and there was a huge flower line there. He waited forever, but eventually got the flowers. Then he headed out to rent a limo. Unfortunately, there was a large limo line at the rental office, but he was patient and got the job done. Finally, the day of the prom comes. The two are dancing happily, and his girlfriend is having a great time. When the song is over, she asks him to get her some punch, so he heads over to the punch table, and there's no punch line. A wife, being the romantic sort, sent her husband a text. "If you are sleeping, send me your dreams. If you are laughing, send me your smile. If you are eating, send me a bite. If you are drinking, send me a sip. If you are crying, send me your tears. I love you." The husband, typically unromantic, replied, "I am on the toilet. Please advise."